Ebusia for ne tie for ne di kwan so me patcho me obi bia akwaba eba channel so an me daily update TV. Ebusia me patcho Reverend Ntim Fordjour no ho sensem ya na guso a trend no na ye nyina ni allegations a wapia ba bonten abe site a so far yes won fa proof and evidence to ninsem o keka na or say oni the only evidence bia me onka asade but everything proves say only evidence bia and according to Nana Majakun listening to Nana Majakun yesterday I know what she said only NPP nipa edin koma onoka say omudi evidence bia and so because Felix Ofosu kwachi pie ba bonten ebe somehow be rabishe nsema na Reverend Ntim Fordjour kanu enu ntina omoso decided to take advantage now omasheda asoso niema so sa now I think say an evidence ba konso ho so the minority leader afenyo marking or call one of the radio stations so we bisan say nti evidence no hu okasa on the ontimi answer that question that sad to your friend scenario see a prove say ampa omini evidence bia to insema or mokika na ebusia. That was some days ago na GH1 presenter a friend Joshua Kojo Mensa eko emailing sa Ahmed Fui ana Ahmed Fui pie ba bonten ka say there be entesa o mo response o mo de ma Joshua Kojo Mensa no na o mo kire say insema Felix Ofosu kwachi pie ba bonten be kan sa pepe that account no same account no mo so de ma that is the Kojo the Joshua Kojo Mensa no na omu prove say nsema Ntim Fordjour pie ba bonten be kan ni na yentro omu so far omu exposing Ntim Fordjour omu say Ntim Fordjour ne nsema okeke ni na yentro baseless allegations so far they will even avail omu for any further your friend is saying investigations omu ankasa according to the your friend is saying omo response omo de ma Joshua Kojo Mensa no na ebusia unim say sa made na according to nsema yebekwa akutie no managed by the US defense and yeka US defense are we talking about the US army say Ghana say ye defense ye soldier for until you share the US defense no so na ye US for soldiers na ye say sa made US for US soldiers for dia omo defense omo no manage sa your friends and aircraft no that air made no enti omo no mapia ba bonti abe responding to Reverend Ntim Fordjour omo kire say ono no entro you are peddling falsehood baseless and false allegation ebusia makasa kakra ebe konya akutie nsem na nkasa ne nkyire mu yankopon kyire obi bia me do obi bia asem da se
ekita money laundering yes sir ekita gold bars yes sir the question I say country bend in the world will bring gold bars to a country that produces gold. Yeah, produce gold animal. Now I say we gold, money bagana bede. Which country does that? In any case, there's no any law that bans the transportation of gold. Law be anywhere and amount transport gold. Yeah. So you cannot smuggle. You only need the papers to cover it to show that you are bona fide property. Now I'm out there. So there's no in the law. But there are laws against illicit drug transit and so on. But there's no law against what? The transmission or the bringing down of gold. Again, Reverend, well, I don't know who says sikana on the buyer no. And yet pounds and yet euros, na dollars. Well, I don't know who's that. One way, I don't know who said the Sikana he was alleged to be brought. No, it is not pounds, it is not euros, but it's strictly dollars. Almost what the Akroma. How much quantity of money can that plane carry into this country? Plane to free US, Alabama, a bag, and people don't know. Airmed now Kano. It's an air ambulance managed and certified by the US Defense. The US Defense certified, and they run a fleet of your friend is saying air ambulance across the world, several, and yet private jets say your friend say this is Team's private jet, this is my brother friend, so you get up and fly. I say many besides private jet fly free hand. Why not go inspect here? Those are the private, not a company that has built its reputation as an air ambulance. And our air ambulance, it is specially equipped with special equipment to be able to fly and land at any place in the world with patience. Do you know the amount of millions they make from that? You think cocaine, they will allow one of their fleets, say, cocaine. How much is that cocaine to them? The fleet of airmen, a U.S. defense certified airmen built with special equipment carried to this country. You can Jimmy I say, oh, I didn't a plane 2 years and see what Ivory Coast. And Namsa, do you tell the pilot where to stop? If I say, or bit Marcus or so we can land any place. No one can protect him. He can land any place. He can decide, and anything can happen. Originally, you may think that you have to land in Ivory Coast, and finally you land here. It doesn't matter. In fact, they don't need the MPP permission to land. Those aircraft doesn't need MPP permission or the members of parliament permission to land in this country. There's no amount of running. Me person me catch a Ghana for say Ntim, if he doesn't prove distance, he will be arrested. He will be put before court. He will go through vigorously what the law entails. Say Papa Kasa. The Attorney General, why you quiet no? I am a catcher. Obi a new law in a Dr. Ina and I go Parliament who. And in any case, the NDC has the best lawyers in Parliament there. Almost no come by privilege. In fact, Ntim cannot come under the parliamentary provisions that protects him because he has been irresponsible. If you become irresponsible and reckless because of political expediency, partisan politics, and not for the people of this country and not for the state, the parliamentary privileges entimin katao. You go through its violation and violation of the law. They can amass there. Make me the MPP for Ghana. Your friends, Reverend Ntim Fordjour's house, he will still be arrested. He can travel or he will still be arrested and brought to face the law. I know on net now, TV so, I know say he's prepared to die on Srobi Biano. Now on Srobi, no one but I don't know what you see. So we are prepared to die. You could cast sama or can say, look at what you see, look at the bogus letter he wrote. The bogus letter train. Next even the reasons are the son of Munyan. I say, oh, Nanya cocaine being a chi $350 million. But could be a sanchi and no $150 million. And on it is not true. Radio station and radio presenter tell him and bring him home. His press conference was not about 350 million cocaine bust. It is done and dusted. It is left in the hands of the what? The security agencies to do their investigations. It is no more a problem. I don't have a problem. The 150 million cocaine is because the new government has come. We are unearthing all those their secrets. And can people know how? And he started a good example. There's a private company, there's a private flight that is being managed by McDam that flies out and in.
Private terminal.
How many national security people are there to inspect that terminal, inspect the flying and taking off of that flight? Where did they fly to? And so on. No Ghanaians have been given information as to what they do there. So it is not more Obia. It's the issue is not about the 350 million cocaine bust. And they are dada. It is not an issue. The 150 million your friend is saying cocaine, but it is not an issue. And in fact, Reverend Ntim did not talk about that. For it to make it seem as if on what about cocaine arrest and the general cocaine and drug issues, and that is not what he said. But who is covering now? Look at them put this. Who is covering what? One person now we cover
Honorable, I'm happy up now. Say, because
you know, for me, people must know that it's a serious matter. Like the president has said, no one will be spared. No one, and I believe for me, I'm not a security man, but I'm the president. I'm the security for now. President, so many human, I'm chedo, because so much at the beginning cry. But when they are now, I'm telling you, say they are doing, they know what they are doing. They don't want to do some things that will go back and so on. But for me, they are they should have been busted all along and near Miano to prove the truth. To prove that it's cocaine. You cannot use cocaine in order to spoil your mama's name. Your mama knows what exactly. Share the statements now, short, but they are pregnant. Maybe we're on something. May come by the CJ. And I'm because the CJ asked for 7 days. Your mama man is saying
10 days.
When am I going to a man 10 days? You should know. Look, I had to say that what Tihanmon was set exams. I mean, team, I've given you 2 hours. Why wouldn't say me to me answer exams? Now, me can't say, now for 2 hours. Can I say, open 2 hours? But not 12 hours. What do you answer? Right, so if I give you 10 days, you will go back and come back.
For me, this the MPP have succeeded a little to divert attention of Juma Pa the NDC have started. Also, they also knew say baby Ekono. Say I want for I'm a bomwa M1, and that's why they brought in. But I was last time when I say I thank God say okay say tama yeba abayimuna na President AUSU Ibrahim Hammer flights.
Yeah.
The lucky we have done is say they were not smart even to go and use say flight now air no something is being put in it. That there are flight now. The reason why we are using that flight just because we are using this one for doing money laundering. That's why we are using that. They could have said those things freely of these people, but thank God I say we are here, and the fear. This issue say it is a car by my way more. It is also because the MPP news say a car man Ghana for no. Say in there yet me say yes solve problems so no. They only want to put the voice mind and say this can be anywhere. Now sky idea you way yes have money laundering can be. All these are a strategy they are trying to play into the public domain. No. But thank God, as we said this time around, we will not allow them to set the pace for us. When the law have to catch up to you, it will take up on you. So issues of that, we make as a Fordjour issue. He said more patch will say more chance but if the speaker in Trombra, whether he writes or not, I think that if any because say watching also has that statement we are. Now what they move. Yeah. It's like a watching and that's a be as a Ghanaian be no statement, especially against or mine. Yeah. Mine how they move. So, Ntim Fordjour, yes, as we can say, also, yeah, chedo. But I think that you see, when it comes to these stages, especially when it comes to national issues, you should be very, very tactical. Next idea, now, style because Nakadano Cas asked them never chill, never can say, oh, at America, no, it was a fact. Yeah, but when they gave him the opportunity, we gave him the rope, even to go to his old TV stations, you know, want to improve it, yeah. Issue Fabra. In fact, you remember, said the same people went to court 2020. When we said, say, you win elections, you see, MBA na no, only the Makatre. Say, yeah, na kasi you win, they will prove issue no court. Yeah. But say the same people are now saying, say, so what is the issue? No. I say the reason, but also raise the issue winning one election. Now, you see, MBA, no, you see in Yano, because then they can see you win elections. But when it comes to this one, because you are destroying the country, they say, that be an MBA, no. Now, say weapon says your Ntim Fordjour issue say they be investigate by very Juma. And even Ghana and work for doctors are say me check out you. Nanka every week we have a press conference say what say bibi wa then you have to chase it for investigation. What say bibi wa. But I believe he say to use him as an example. I want to say na say no. Example says so be from no or say that's why you are there enya we should deal with it. Okay. But this is Okada issue. I also support say you see at times when you law we don't go down to do practical. Unfortunately, times we no law no air condition law. Intentante issues na say. Okay. Yes, say I got 25 years not to drive a commercial issue, so you will see the confident issue and I'm more share. Say so be I would drive a month for more than 3, 4, 10 people. Say BBC, how do you control yourself? It's so easy. And no, you but the world of today, before we drive a car, no crap, we start to say we drive a car or game so.
Got driving here company for you. Sometimes so highway. Na car Kesi be boss so ben
No. So for me, age issue, yes, but we need to do more of the training. Then you should train people to understand, say, if your speed limit, motor speed limit, because then most of those who ride our Okadas, 18 years guys now. In fact, you start bicycle.
Okada and say, Oko villages now, you appreciate.
Yeah. Those are the, but you see, I'm for way in yeah, Kasa, motor Okada in Yaman. But how many times when we say trotro drivers, almost spectacles, say lenses?
Me tell you.
One me say, do up a nini.
Okay. Okay.
But most drivers are who trotro driver use lenses that. I will tell him say all trotro driver money.
So be on
in fact, most of our accidents is because of this our eyesight issues. I'm telling you. There be most of us our eyesight issues. But it's right. It's any age at least one driving could be our driving and driving age around 40, 50 could be but you have been driving and I joke to be said can't be light still so and
like to when you principle.
But how many of us go back to say echo check any I'm saying actually driving license issue. But this starting that American soon started our education to start checking people eyesight at least spectacle your first always lenses in your bonnet at least it will help us in the, because me won't trotro driver wash lenses that
and yeah
me who that me I'm yet to I'm on you so mu
I'm putting for but obi o how you so na
masa trotro drivers on one was but all other sectors be allo
trotro drivers e cham nyina
bisa trotro driver e se na bisa e se mu bisa because na am fat trotro ono am fat trotro e se me na be champion
be wa advert be wa yen time advert be our ebeti
you know that you know I take trotro so the ope be our trotro ho no
in other words honorable sonika in other words honorable sonika enti Chief Julius Debra utia honorable Timothy Atabuade honorable Timi fa trotro sa manaka we are no peba ku so amame mezuminika
agenda bia kwachi bia no to be fa oye mad e mama no di na
President Mahama me ne man me ma yeduma wasisa man nyina kogu abam
man nyina ko
wasisa man nyina kogu abam e no agya me man na
me man ju bana
Ebusia bi obi bia asese wanyamre na wabenya ye video ni bi nso ahye said mechanic no han daily update TV me pa cho message so be opine with you e wo comment section hon me beje na ya kenkan na nkomo ne wa ntine ye de nkomo no anase na video ni ekwohwe na e wa kakra ntine ye de nkomo ni be sia e ma review so be stay tuned for more updates me da se bebre